All right, let's get going then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of the Plan B podcast. I'm, of course, joined by my two co-hosts, Nick,
Hello.
Darko, and we,
What's
of
up?
course, have Tommy behind the camera, behind the scenes.
Yo, what's up, brother? Booyakasha.
Now, we just wanted to do an intro today, or I wanted to more, because last week, or the first podcast, which actually isn't out yet as of time of recording this second episode, we didn't really do an intro. We kind of just ran with it, and we kind of looked back at it and went, yeah, we didn't really do an intro, did we? We kind of just got into it. But anyway.
I disagree. I thought it was a good intro. But
You just
anyway.
screamed, all right, is all you screamed.
We had to cut out a lot just because we had some type of intro, but we're just absolute noobs with this. We're figuring it out. We've got we know what we've got to do, kind of like watching game back to see like what we have to fix and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got some type of intro now.
Also, I want
There's
to
something there.
apologise to all of the audience who had to deal with the billion bleeps in the first episode.
Well, there's already
Gabe-
been 3, I think,
What? 3 beeps?
for this episode
Yeah,
already.
So I said one.
Yeah.
I think I've had one.
We've started
Yeah,
red
well,
hot.
Gabe,
That's all right.
he's got a, I
2
don't know,
a.m.
1 to 400 ratio of not swearing.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
We're gonna get much better at that.
It was
and then
46 seconds was the first bleep last time.
Well,
No.
I reckon it was shorter this time.
Oh, way shorter.
Anyway.
we're gonna have much less, and I reckon we get to a part where we're just gonna blank the sound, just so because having a bleep or a squeak or something, if we're doing it a lot,
Yeah.
it'll be way too
It's going
much.
to get way too
So
repetitive.
we'll figure out how to do it, and we'll
Yeah. Early days.
So we'll go into this week of basically what we have been through getting things together, basically.
Because the thing is, we've all 4 of us have had people messages like, "When's the first episode? When's this?"
Oh.
Like it's not that easy.
No,
Like,
it's
we
not.
figured out it's not that easy.
Well, Tom knew it was not going to be this easy. And we
Tom,
all said,
Tom was the voice of reason
this is
from
a
day
piece
one.
of piss.
From
The
day
amount
one,
of
Tom was
people
the
that have come
voice
up
of
and said,
reason.
"Oh, you just
Yeah.
upload it, don't you, brother?"
That's all it is.
Stop.
You just press the red button on the camera, and then you take the SD card out, you stick it in the computer, and you press upload.
Man,
That's
I
it.
wish I had a roving camera. I tell you what we should do next week. We should put my 360 camera up and do a time lapse
We
of
could.
how to set
That'd
it
be
up.
pretty gangster.
Because I want to blow my brains out with everyone saying, "Nah, it's pretty easy." It's like, is
at,
it?
at the end of the day, we can be one of those podcasts, but we don't want to, where it's all raw, it's just straight, this is how it is, but we're trying to put in a bit of effort. But like we've noticed every step from editing to making a thumbnail to do this to posting to everything is a hassle. But it'll get much easier once we have like a structure of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already getting better.
Much
We had a bit of a fumble
totally.
last week, but
Yeah.
I mean, our little schedule we had for Wednesday-ish, that went down pretty well.
Yeah, well,
Just like,
Yeah.
the boys go through and say, "Oh, we want to cut this,
Yeah.
edit this out, blah, blah, blah."
Exactly
Then they go
right.
through and no life it on the computer all night and
And look,
don't
like
get to
you were
see the
saying,
kids or family.
we'd rather it be somewhat quality production rather than just crap, especially the first one.
Oh, I'm not
Like,
going to be involved if it looks like
exactly
shit.
right. Yeah, it's just not worth it at that point.
Yeah.
We put all the effort into prep work, doing that, figuring out what we want to talk about, and then the outcome is terrible. Like, no.
Yeah,
we're
we
not gonna
just
do
spent
that.
like half an hour pretty much talking about exactly what we're going to be repeating now. Like, that's how long it takes to set up. And that's obviously at no fault of Tom. It's just,
yeah.
it's the process.
But yeah.
Just how it is, sadly. But soon enough, we're going to have our own studio. It's going to be all going on. We're gonna
That's
have
right.
85 assistants. Bro, you don't even know what it's going to be
85
like.
assistants.
Yeah. So
What colour?
no, for when we're filming this today,
Oh, hey, brother, or don't already get me some fucking edits going.
from when we're filming this today, it's Tuesday. We're gonna have everything posted tomorrow. With a few.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Last week's.
Last
Yeah,
week.
yeah, cool. Yeah.
So there'll be a few other
Because
things.
I knew you were saying it's going to be pretty much done now. So, yeah, sweet.
Yeah, there'll be a few things
It'll
like
be Spotify first and then YouTube a couple hours after.
The people are hungry after seeing the Reddit video. That's all I'm saying.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That
Hungry.
Reddit, that Reddit video.
Popped.
We got a few more reels that we'll
We do.
release.
We got heaps of
Couple of
everything. We're
teasers.
just finding our way basically.
I got a really good response from that
Well,
video.
no, it's
Everyone
not going to be a
loved it.
teaser because we're gonna post those ones after the
Which
podcast.
video?
The Reddit one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Hey,
That
I
was
shot
good.
myself in the foot there, and I did it for the potty, so that better have blown up.
Oh, it's done all right, and like for at the moment, like we've said before, we're using our Instagram as like a main base. We got all like people on it, but like the people that are supporting us and whatnot, and kind of waiting for
We've nearly cracked 200. That's all right.
we're not really worried about followers because that's not really it's going to drive. You're going to get more views than
Yeah, I was gonna say
followers.
it's views.
Yeah.
Um,
We do quite well with views.
Yeah, for 2 things we've posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
but
was
no,
10 and one was like 8
consistent.
or something, right? That's
Consistent.
not bad.
Yeah, we're getting our shit together. We're figuring out how to do it. We're paying certain people to do jobs that we don't have to do that'll make things quicker. So that's obviously going good too.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got
Um,
Tom's slave labour, so that's good.
yeah.
Yes.
God, yeah. So,
Tom,
lucky
Tom
I'm not
outsources
invoicing
when
you
he
for this.
can.
Yeah.
So we're making things easier on Tom with like just every time we watch something back, of course, we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah, got to
This
give
is
him
what we're gonna give
timestamps
him.
and stuff.
So it's a bit of a culture shock to all of us.
Yeah.
But
not
it's
just point, shoot, and upload.
for first
unfortunately.
crack, what we're going to release, it's all right. We give a bit of a sneak peek on what we've been going through lately. We called it like a health check, but it was kind of like a, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Um,
I liked it. It was good.
yeah, it worked. It worked.
We started ranting about other things. I
Oh,
quite enjoyed it when I was watching back because I had to get all the.
I forgot we
timestamps,
even
but-
had that argument. I'll call it
Which-
an argument because I was.
Oh, that
heated.
one. No,
Which
I'm
one?
not talking about that. I'm
Sausages.
Talking
Sausages.
We're not
I'm
going
talk-
there.
I'm talking about
You've
the.
lost it. Everyone that's seen it has agreed. But everyone who's seen it, 9 times out of 10, they've got a bigger family.
Has agreed with you.
Yes. I said to
Well.
you straight away. My
Yeah,
mum,
again.
Not the
Oh,
people I'm
let's-
talking
Let's
to.
not get into it.
Jesus.
I mean, Saz is right. Let's just say
Well,
it.
we-
Saz is
no,
right.
but we don't even need to say that. It's, I think it's
delete
just bigger
delete
family.
the Instagram page. Get us unlicensed with Spotify and done.
But you're still wrong about that toilet seat thing. Okay, next topic.
Oh, back to that. I wasn't even claiming. I was just saying like I've been doing it. Also, had the night job I have, we work with one girl and she was cleaning the bathroom and she said she went off. She was like, "You boys need to learn how to hit the seat, and if you don't clean up and whatnot." And straight away I cleared my name. I said, "I sit down and
Hey,
whatnot."
me, bruh.
And
I sit down.
she said, swearing. I'll get used to not doing that. She said, "Mate, legend." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm giving no one trouble. I'm keeping everything clean."
I hope that made you really happy.
I felt good because all these things
I'm
that we've
glad
been
you felt
talking
good.
about are like coming back.
There
and
you
I'm
go.
like,
It's come full circle.
full circle with everything.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that's a bit of a recap of what we've been doing. So the first thing we're going to go through is something that we've kind of accidentally all walked into. It's something that's happened on the news this week in Melbourne,
Yeah.
Australia.
Was it only yesterday?
It was like 2-3 days ago, something
Yeah.
like that.
It was this week.
It was this week. It's very recent.
Well, it
Yeah.
happened last week, but it's sort of
Late
only
last
just-
week and it's popped off.
It
I think
happened last
yesterday,
Wednesday, and
really.
then
Okay.
people got suspended.
And
for
without
it.
Yeah.
planning it, us and like other people I've spoken to and whatnot have all brung it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reckon
I don't know what we're talking about, so I'm waiting.
we
You do.
pull
Okay,
the
let's see.
video up, which is on YouTube. I've got it linked. We play the first few seconds. We'll make it so you can see it too, and then we'll talk about it.
So where is
It's in
this?
free form.
It's in free form, and it's
Fucking hell, putting me through the ringer and that.
Bottom of your.
Oh,
taskbar.
too late.
But yeah.
so a quick breakdown. It was on a massive morning show in Australia, and go to the right.
Like
Oh, how the
down
fuck
towards
do
the
I do
bottom
that?
You
right.
know, drive this thing, mate.
No, I don't.
You got
Down,
your
down,
P's. What do you got, bro?
down,
Full
Fucking hell.
license? Learners?
That one?
Here
That
she
link,
is.
my
Yeah.
friend. Make it full screen, and we'll start sharing the screen. Show everyone what we're talking about.
Hectic.
Brilliant.
Hectic.
Can
It's
you-
because it's on a private browser. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
you with
What
your
are you doing?
Copy
Incognito,
and paste it.
bro.
Just copy
Yeah.
and paste the.
incognito mode, mate.
Well, we do that so I don't get people's notifications come up.
Oh, smart.
What is it? People's like
Like if I get a
ad blockers and stuff.
like a messenger message or something. I don't want
Oh.
Bob.
DMs
Feels-
popping off.
Yeah.
Is that what it does?
After the
Yeah.
Reddit video.
Yeah.
Can confirm. Tom does not.
Couple of cheekers. I think we'll be all right for an hour, mate. Whatever pops up, you can.
This one's the fucking open. That would be heckers. Let's try in here. Maybe it'll work in actual incognito. Because this I was in Motsy before. There we go.
Here she
Perfect.
is.
Here we go. Subscribes to Side Plus, can't get YouTube Premium. Crazy.
I'm sorry, these things do my head in. They're always fake.
Scandal
and
is
people fall for it.
engulfing a prestigious Melbourne school with 4 boys suspended from the Yarra Valley Grammar Private School after making a list ranking female students.
The spreadsheet was circulated online with students ranked in
God.
categories including wifey,
Is that mid or mud?
object, and the absolutely
Mid.
disgraceful unbelievable. We're now joined by school principal Dr. Mark.
Have you seen
Miller
this?
No,
from
I've
Yeah.
heard
Word.
a
Mark,
little
thanks
bit.
so much
Fucking
for joining
outrageous.
us
I saw this
today.
earlier
I
today.
think everyone was outraged when they saw this list. I imagine you would have had the very same reaction.
I think the word you used earlier, Sarah, disgraceful, really fits. My first response was just horror, to be honest, that such a cruel thing could be done and such a degrading sort of attitude could be, directed at any of our students.
It made me sick. How did the boys' parents react?
I'll pause it for a second if that's
Okay.
all right, man.
Yep.
He has said worse things about women, and I'll stand on that.
Well,
Who?
Carl.
Carl. Stefanovic.
Carl has been through the ringer.
I remember that stuff years ago in like the back of the taxi with his brother.
I don't know
Oh,
what you're talking about.
yeah.
And he's
But he's a party animal, and he's made some
yeah.
remarks, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, like,
He's pretty outrageous.
I'm gonna. I don't even know, but I've heard because he's kind of a celebrity in Australia. Let's call it, kind of.
or even overseas. There was a big going back to Reddit. There was a big subreddit about him and like all the outrageous stuff he would say on air.
Oh yeah, he
It
says
blew
outrageous
up.
stuff on air, but like,
No wonder this bloke has like 2,000 plus karma on Reddit. Hey,
Wait, I got. I don't want to derail too
do you
much.
remember that clip? And he goes, "Oh, I haven't used Reddit in like 10 years."
Yeah.
He's
Wait,
on
no.
Reddit every day.
The amount of
minutes.
people that came up to me and was saying, "Oi, those are rookie numbers. I got 45,000 or something."
Did
and
you
these are
go-
people that do fuck.
Did you go,
I
that
d- I
information, keep it to yourself?
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's true. Who are these people?
People with children. So, proof.
That might have been because it's been Reddit's been around for a long time.
That could have
Yeah,
been
like,
pre-karma, but
15.
Could have been.
Pre-karma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once the karma kicked in,
They've
fucking sterile.
regained their virginity.
Yeah. All right, get back to
Sterile.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, so Carl, obviously his job, and he's got to like put on a whole. This is terrible and whatnot. And on the grand scheme of things, like the bottom tier that they had is outrageous.
Very outrageous.
that wording, I think, makes the whole
The
thing worse than it
wording
is.
is what
Yeah.
they definitely.
Oh, 100%.
Like doing something like that's shit regardless. But
Because we all know what is said behind closed doors with blokes,
yeah,
but that word, because it is so touchy, of course, for obvious
Yeah.
reasons, I feel like anything is dramatized for the TV and for them to be able to use it. But it's like we know what's said behind closed doors on group chats and shit, and we all make that joke that like if one of our group chats with like close mates when we were younger was ever leaked.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Carl for a second. Yeah, I mean,
No.
like, I don't
I don't think I've ever said anything like that. to be honest.
that outrageous, but
The
you
the word's outrageous.
yeah, like that that low tier on that. That is
They've put in
Dumb.
effort
But
for that
at
too.
the
have
same
they have they
time-
said how it got brought to the attention?
No, it's a
They
it's
got-
a
they got leaked,
it's a
didn't it?
9-minute thing.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, how did it got leaked?
probably someone
Someone
took a photo
showed
and-
someone
Someone
else
They
told
would
in
have
a
someone.
showed
group
each
chat
other.
or
The
something.
girls would have caught wind, told the teachers,
Yeah.
and then
So many times in high school, the boys would be chatting shit in the group chat, and we had like, so our group chat, we had a big one on Facebook, and it had about roughly 20 blokes in it,
Yeah, same.
and it was from the two high school, the three primary schools that when we all came up, everyone like became friends. Every now and again, some bloke took it into his own hands to add another mate that wasn't really in it,
And that's how it
and then got
trickled
bigger.
out, yeah.
And then every now and again, I'm calling yous all out right now. The blokes that would like lick their paws for the chicks would start showing the chicks what was said.
we had that too.
No.
I
we
got,
had that too, big time.
and I never really like inverted commas chatted shit about like the girls in like high school, but
you weren't the outrageous one. But even
Not-
having your name associated with it can just fuck you up.
yeah, well, it was more so like some people would never talk in it. But what I'm saying is like in the group chat, someone would say something in confidence. These are your mates. But obviously it's gotten bigger, the group chat, and these blokes are running to the chicks and showing them what's
Yeah.
been said. And that many times they'll be like,
This
I-
could be this exact scenario.
exactly. And they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I heard you said this about me. And you're kind of sitting there with a blank face as like a 14-year-old high school, like, oh shit, how do you know about that?
Although only 4 of them getting suspended is a bit like, I don't think it probably did go through a big group chat then, but could have. And
I think that's a bit more outrageous if it's just 4, because I feel like it's
Yeah.
like
But it's
it's even
crazy.
worse.
It's crazy that it comes out of a school like this because
It's always
I
the
didn't
private
watch the
schools.
9-minute thing, but
you're not wrong.
I was going to
Always
say, I
the
feel like
private
it
schools.
doesn't matter what sort of school you go to.
Oh,
They're all
I feel they are. Every school's.
yeah,
But
correct.
you know
but
what? I drove to Sydney yesterday. Every time I drive to Sydney and I go past Knox Grammar, I'm like, kids got fucking diddled in there. This
Yeah,
place is
true.
fucked, and it's
Yeah.
always the private schools.
Oh, just quietly, before we go any further,
Diddled.
he has sworn the most out of anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's doing all this editing
yeah, but
for
you know
himself.
what? Yes.
Well, I've been
swears
saying
I
on
reckon the
talks
rule
normally,
from now on
yeah.
should be
That's
whoever
fine.
at the end of the podcast, at the end of the recording, we decide has probably sworn the most.
It's
has to go
always,
down.
always going to be
No,
me.
are you kidding me?
No, it's
I'm not
always-
doing even more work.
It's always
No.
going to be me.
Me
It's
and
always
Gabe
gonna
spoke
be.
about it. We'll do half each, and I said
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
probably end up doing the whole thing myself. But if you're going to be in another country and you're not doing a quick holiday, you're living over there. We're gonna assign it to him.
Ah.
If that's
Oh
it.
yeah, that's fair.
But we're gonna
I
have
don't
the old
have an
working
income for
abroad,
3
no
months, but
tax.
I am taking.
To be fair,
Cash.
are you going to do it though? Like, are you
No.
going to be?
You couldn't even do it while he's in Australia. Oh.
Well, it did get done, so
Oh. On time?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, I can do it. But you just got to, like, when it gets recorded, let me know. I'll tell you what my plans are for the next
Just put
couple
your
of days.
microphone to the mouth.
If I can
Thank
do it,
you.
I'll do it. Otherwise,
Like, yeah, the headphones under here.
Yeah,
though.
I did.
Um,
We're just taking the piss out. I thought I'd
All right, back to this.
add
thing.
on a little bit more.
yeah, it's absolute nuts. We're not going to learn more. I probably should have skimmed through it. Like, I didn't play the whole thing for myself because I was like, I wanted to react. But then now thinking of it, it's 10 minutes. I probably should have got the points where
That's fine.
we find out the information a bit more about it. But
30 grand a year these parents pay for, like, their
What?
kids to go
That's-
to school.
That's
Yeah.
pretty low as well. I know some schools where you're paying like 50, 60 a year.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Kambala Girls School in Sydney. I don't know the number. I went there once to do some work with my dad, and don't worry, nothing sus, brother.
Yeah, not with your Reddit karma score.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, nothing was going to happen. And it's also fucking primary school as well. But it is
Right up
over.
his
two
alley.
swear words.
It is
Yeah, I know. right?
over Sydney Harbour. It has got
Location.
like 4 indoor pools and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're
elevators. It
crazy.
is ridiculous. And the
You should
amount of
just
money
see
they're
some of
paying.
the schools in Newcastle. Like,
What about the one near here?
well, true. Very
Yeah.
true, yeah.
I know someone
pretty
that
outrageous.
works there, and the amount of money that goes through
big-
those places.
They've got like a big hall thing inside. There's like, literally not joking, 10, like
I don't think they're
80,
probably the same. What's the
85
school?
inch TVs in there. It's crazy.
What's the school?
I don't know what it's called.
It's St. Philip's.
St. Philip's, yeah. Right.
There's a lot of
Got it around
campuses,
the corner.
lots of money.
Isn't the
Just
big,
up here.
the big
Yeah,
dogs
yeah.
around here? There's Macquarie College, which
Yeah,
St.
Macquarie.
Philip's is number one by far.
okay.
Yeah.
So I know a fair bit of
There's
people
a
that went
grammar
to
school
Macquarie
in
College, and it was
Newcastle as
pretty
well.
like
Yeah.
there wasn't like crazy because obviously Newcastle's on a bit of a smaller scale than Sydney. But yeah, their outfits are insane.
Oh, the best thing I've ever heard, I might be making this up, I don't think I am, but I swear at one point I got told that a specific school had a hat and a jumper they would only wear while walking to school or on the bus, and they changed their hat when they got to school.
Honestly,
That's the
would not be
stupid- That is
surprised.
the stupidest thing I've
They've
ever
got-
heard.
The private schools,
What?
I don't think it's just
I don't know.
Newcastle and just Australia. The private school system is insane. The rules they have to follow.
Oh, yeah.
And then 9 times out of
But
10,
a different hat? What?
yeah, it's
A
stupid.
hat.
I feel like you always find that these things happening because they are the fancy private schools, and the
Yeah.
news loves
It's
it.
a lot
where,
of
like,
rebelling.
it
It's
could-
like all the shit that goes with
Shit
Japan.
like
They
this
have
would happen at
barely
these
any-
derelict schools all the time, and it's just not making red hot news.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
100%.
Oh, I mean, I feel like
100%.
I don't know if it's going to be to that level because I think they try and lash out in different ways. They're going to be the shit kid in class. or
Yeah,
whatever.
So
maybe.
for this to
Yeah.
come out, it would have probably been like parents or something that would have.
Oh, 100%.
Going
Like,
further.
exactly.
Yeah.
How has it made national news?
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh, it would
It's
have been
because
outrage
it's
from
because
that,
it's linked to the name of the
100%,
school for sure.
Yeah, that I do like the little snippet that I watched that got sent into a group chat. It was like last Wednesday they found out about it, and by Friday they'd had the worked out who
So
it was. and had him
how would that
suspended
even
and stuff.
happen? Would it be like if they went to get? Can you get charged for saying something like this? Because is that like defamation of someone? Or is that
They're kids, so they'll probably get away with it. I
yeah,
don't-
more so is there like a can you go to the police station and say someone's talking bad about me? Is that like a thing?
Well, it's a harassment, I guess.
Oh, so that's
I
harassment.
think it's very loose, yes and no.
Sexual
I mean, at the
harassment.
same
This
time,
got posted in the. It was either a Discord or a Reddit or whatever it was, and I think that's
That's
why.
I was going to say that too. I feel like it came up
So
through
it's-
Discord or Reddit.
It's more like it's probably classified under cyberbullying, would it not be?
Oh, true. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
You
that
know what
makes
I mean?
sense.
exactly that.
But
yeah.
then this principled bloke, this fucking Terminator-looking bloke, he was saying that they got to also look at the fact that that word that they use down the bottom is that insinuating like what they would do to the
To the
teams
other
above.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
So-
where it comes to. I mean, like either way, doesn't
That's
matter.
where it gets
And
pretty
that's
bad.
red hot. That is like
Yeah, they're
What
like,
were
we
you
don't think there's any
thinking?
malice in it, blah,
like
blah, blah, but we've
fucking
got to look
idiots,
at all,
like
all
disgusting
potential and
stuff.
stuff.
But
Yeah,
I
of
think that's where
course.
it's a disconnect from the generations where they might use that word and it's got nothing to do with what they're doing. It's just an expression of like, oh, they're
Yeah.
ugly or something like that.
Mm.
And I think that's where the problem is. I think there's a lot more of that with generational stuff with all the bloody lingo that we use these days.
Wild
How old
stuff.
were they, do you know?
So it's a high school.
Like, was it year
and
12? Was it year 7?
High school was 7 to 12.
I would assume they'd be like year 10 or something.
It would have had to
Probably
be younger.
something around
I
that,
reckon
yeah.
younger,
Yeah.
definitely.
You reckon?
Yeah, that's a lot of effort.
Yeah, I feel like a lot more of the outrageous stuff was
And
definitely
can
when
we
you
think
were
about
younger
how
at
many
school.
girls would they have put? Because private schools are big.
No,
It was 60, wasn't it?
No, it was 40 odd.
40.
Far
It was
out,
40 odd
bro.
chicks
Yeah.
in that year.
I
That they
don't know 40 chicks in my
rated.
year.
And
I don't know, 40 chicks.
no, so all the all,
He
all
doesn't.
these chicks are getting
Wait,
like
thanks for the shout out, brother.
all these chicks are getting like counselling and stuff now. Like
Yeah, but
Every single
surprise,
You
one.
would
man.
be. Imagine if you found out
You got
that your
called
name
that
was-
you're unrapeable.
So
Huh?
let me just
yeah, I'll
be.
try not to say the word.
I can get bleeped.
Let me just say that
Thanks.
if the boys found the list, I'd be thinking, where am I on that list? I would not think
Yeah, if
like
the shoe was on the other foot, you're saying?
yeah, the blokes we don't like it's the old saying like you know how like
Yeah, but you're good looking, so you would have been at the top.
it is not that, it's the bloke's mind.
That's
Am I
why.
wrong?
That, yeah,
Am I
that's why he
wrong?
wants to look
Yeah,
at
thank
it.
you.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly right.
No,
Yes,
it's,
Saz, were you ever the last person to get picked for the basketball team or
Got
something
no.
like that?
This,
yeah, that's,
this kid has
that's
been
what I mean. Yeah.
bloody crafted from a Greek god when it comes to
Yeah,
playing
I'm pretty
sport.
sure he was made out of
Don't-
marble.
don't
Look
call-
at him.
Don't call me Greek. That's
Sorry.
That's bad.
What
That's
are
almost as bad
What
as
are
the
you,
list.
Serbian?
that's not as bad, I reckon.
Yugoslavian?
I have a lot of Greek
That's
friends
correct.
and I love them dearly. But I'm gonna,
Bosnian?
Do you?
I'm
I'm,
in trouble
gonna,
here.
I'm gonna bring on my Dedos tradition and hate them.
You know
just
what
as
I am,
much as
Saz?
them.
I'm fully sick, so let's continue.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's
Nice
like,
transition.
you know how you'll like you'll hear something like a girl got some bloke said something to a girl or someone's done something and it's gone to either police or they've got in trouble or not, and then the blokes will be like, oh, if that happened to me, like I wouldn't give a shit. Or like you've had girls say something to you or do something to you and it's just nothing to you. Like I've had girls, they'll touch you like inappropriately, like at a club, and you just always say to your mates, if I did that,
I can say that firsthand with photography stuff. I've had chicks come up and full on grope and grab my dick
now let me
multiple
say,
times.
if the photographer of the club done something, the male, what would happen?
Yeah, that's
you
the thing.
would
I
be
mean,
doing
like,
5 to life.
Yeah, like I'm just walking around and I've had chicks full on grope me in front of massive crowds, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say like come and go on a pedestal, say double standards, men don't get blah blah blah. 'Cause I mean
Yeah.
that's bullshit. But there's a few times where it's like, come on, that's ridiculous. What are you doing? What's in your brain to think you can get away with that
They can do
and
it.
just do it? And yeah,
Yeah.
I know they can because it has.
I think there's definitely like a line because I've
But
always
you're right. I haven't reported it either.
exactly
That's probably why.
I've always been on the line that would be like a girl could do anything to me and I'm just like I'll move away, or they could say something to me and I won't flinch. I don't give a shit. But then I have had a case where like someone will be like pestering you and annoying you, and you're like, you are harassing me. So I just feel like it's very different with like, especially young blokes, with like reacting, reporting, and actually giving a you know what if like a chick done something to them. Like they obviously have different emotions.
What do you
where,
think
like,
they're more prone or less prone to actually report?
the blokes wouldn't give a shit. So like if the chicks
Yeah.
made a list,
I mean,
you could if you on the bottom, you'd just say like F you. You know what I mean? You're just gonna be salty. You'd like if anything, you know what I mean? Like
I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's like
I think this is so outrageous. It's almost a different.
oh no,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely not like for I'm saying as in like the bloke like obviously the chicks are like especially if you're on the
What
bottom
Saz is getting at is if the chicks made a list about the blokes, would it have been on the news? Would everyone be talking about
Well,
it?
I don't
No,
think the chicks would have
fucking right.
gone that outrageous and
I
done
think
something that is
the
so
point
horrendous.
of the story is that they're trying to link between these behaviours that young boys to men have,
nowadays, yeah.
and then
doing it.
why now there's such a high prevalence of sexual assault and rape and
yeah.
men straight up murdering women, like
Yeah.
their partners and wives and
Plus, we
children.
don't
and
know
everything.
how
That,
these-
that's what they, that's and that's why this is why it makes national news, is because there is such a problem with.
Especially with everything that's
Sexual
been
assault.
going on at the
Oh,
moment.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know how.
We
these-
we all see this as statistics of
Mm.
women getting killed in Australia still, and like
Yeah.
that's why there is this discussion, because there is a pretty fucked up sense of entitlement being like a young man and thinking you can do whatever the fuck you want to
Yeah.
women,
There's a lot of
and
people
this is how
I know
it
like
brews. This is totally how it's built.
yeah,
Is in
you-
these
you
group
reckon
chats when you're young.
They get numb to
It's
it.
little
And
echo
look,
chambers.
I'm sure they didn't make this list with the intent to hurt these women or
We
do
don't-
anything.
We don't know that.
Well, I would assume
Yeah.
not. I don't think so. I
Well,
don't
but
think they're
you-
probably not nasty.
You're
but
probably in
they're
your
just in a
head.
group of boys and they're taking the piss. And I hope they realize what they're doing and understand what they've done. But then again, you don't know.
In your head,
They
you're
could
probably,
be
you're
pigs.
probably putting it back to like what our mates, and you're like, if my mate said anything wild, I'd never think like he means it and whatnot. So I do understand the tiptoeing and why they're reporting it and whatnot to put.
problem is, your mate, and if it's just Joe Blogs from the street and they see someone say that or see this group chat, they're like, what an absolute vile person. How could you do that? And I think that's the thing, is that a lot of these younger boys, and I think everyone to an extent has it, they get a bit too comfortable and they act how they probably shouldn't
Oh,
in certain
totally.
scenarios.
If
Oh,
you
yeah.
saw
elsewhere.
the trade industry of what
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, nuts. Like there'd be like a lot of times where me and my mates would hear one of the boys at work or just someone on the work site say something about a chick, and you'd be like,
That's literally.
nuts.
Yeah. And I don't think the same thing. Like, there's obviously going to be the outliers where these men who genuinely think what they're saying, and they're the ones that do commit these crimes. But as a whole, it's these like negative conversations between groups of men where they wouldn't say these things unless they were with that group of men.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is essentially what
Is
you're
that
saying.
fine line?
But
of
it's
like,
still not, it doesn't make it okay. It's still a bad thing, and it's where it breeds people to have these ideas that they can do whatever they want to women.
So
And
f-
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I-
the whole social media thing and being able to make a group chat, and like, I don't think these are conversations people have with each other in person.
No.
You
no.
always know how much more toxic a conversation
Mm.
is in a group chat compared to in person.
It's because that
Like, I don't
anonymity-
think they're not having these conversations while eating their lunch and playing handball. They're having these conversations at 10 o'clock at night on Facebook Messenger. You know what
it
I mean?
also depends, especially like
Social media.
because I know what conversations I've had with like the boys. It's very different. Like that word, obviously they use as nuts, and the effort they went into making a whole list. But like, of course, with like a good-looking chick, you've heard your mates, bosses, and whatnot say nut shit. You have to, at like the joking level. I think there's a fine line of like locker room talk to then like degrading is the
Oh,
word
yeah,
I
yeah,
use.
yeah.
Degrading is like because like as I said, I wouldn't give a shit what a chick says about me. But then it goes back to they think differently than us, and if you got some bloke who is saying this bad stuff about you, and as you said, they're kind of saying like if you're above that bottom tier, that means they would do that stuff to you. But it just comes back to we probably think those kids like meant nothing by it. They were just ranking the girls, and nothing would ever come from it.
I still think, like I get what you mean. I still think that is, and there was some vile stuff said in like group chats when I was in high school,
Yeah.
but that is still really bad, man.
Yeah, it needs to be.
That is so
It needs to be
bad.
nipped in the bud, so they're like no,
Yeah.
because like
I think that's the point of this. This is to show that this is the level of care they're going to have, even to the
did
joke
they put them on
type
blast?
things.
The names?
I don't
I don't
think so
think- I
because
don't
they're
think-
because
No,
they're
they're
under
kids.
18 probably.
And
yeah.
they would get death threats and some
Oh, yeah, it'd be
serious
fucked
stuff.
up, man.
Because like I've
And
I-
like I said, if they've done these things and they didn't mean anything by it, I would hope that their lives aren't fucked because of something. It's not a joke, but something as simple as this, and then they can't ever get a job. They can't do anything. Their schooling life. So like, I don't think that is a
no
reasonable punishment for
No
these
way.
kids. You know what I mean?
way. Yeah.
Like, and that would be a terrible thing to have to see. But like, look, I think them being expelled is not, or suspended, whatever it is. Oh, it was just
Yeah,
suspended.
suspended. Yeah.
Like that is perfectly fine, and I hope that they've learned their lesson, and it is what it is. But yeah,
yeah, know what to say to a certain degree.
you
Yeah.
got to have some sort of fucking.
It is
wits
very
about you.
different too. Like if they're your family members or friends, because like I've had like locker room talk. It's never got like obviously bad. Like as I said, we don't think they meant anything by it. But like when I've heard a bloke who's even like my friend talking about a chick I'm friends with, or someone else's girlfriend and whatnot, and they're even like saying that they would hit on them type thing, or like what they would, the good old saying of like, what would you do to her? They're like, there's also a line there, like when I've heard it, I've been like, calm it down, mate. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't think they meant anything by it. Wild and behind doors funny, but there's a very fine line of what you should be doing, especially if they posted it. Nuts. Like
That's
that,
crazy.
Yeah, it shouldn't. And especially now knowing anything you say could possibly.
Well, you do have to have that idea in the back of your head. You don't want to say, if you're going to put something in a group chat where there's people and it's not a conversation you're having in your house with someone, you got to almost be comfortable with it getting posted for the world to see.
Yeah.
To an
Okay,
extent. To an extent.
Yeah.
Because
If you have that level of trust with a partner or a really good friend or whatever, and you can say things and voice your opinion, that's fine over social media. But if you're doing these things in group chats on social, like, you have to be okay with the idea that this could literally blow up. And they clearly weren't thinking that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm definitely going to look at it later on and find out how and what. Pretty insane.
I reckon it'll stick around for another couple of days.
I would say so too. Like, I'm sure people are very invested in the follow up of it.
It's very different from a parent.
There'll be people that want everything thrown at these kids, and like I've said, I don't think that would be the appropriate thing to do. Like, I don't think that they should receive death threats or anything like that.
It's the type of thing, if it gets, I shouldn't say focused, because it should be focused on that they need to do better.
Well, I think the principle behind
but
it
the
needs
thing
to
is,
be looked
if
at.
they get blasted too hard, it could end up seeing 4 kids kill themselves.
Well, that
Or
too.
unalive themselves,
At least one of them.
Say.
Yeah, because the intention. Like, I know another story that it was out. I think it was told on a podcast. I'm paraphrasing here. So this bloke was just about to get on a flight, and he said to his mates a terrorist joke, which, as I said, we've all said insane jokes, because I reckon with comedy, obviously that wasn't comedy. With comedy, like, I don't really set boundaries for comedy unless you're like obviously degrading someone on it. Because and I've heard a lot of comedians talk about it, you can't tell me what's not funny. Like, and that's just plain and simple, and I'll die by that. Of course, with a comedian, when they're going up on stage, they're like, I'm being paid to say whatever I want to say, and to be my side of what I think's funny. So this bloke basically said to his mates, he made the terrorist joke about taking the plane down. And apparently at airports, they have words that light up. Maybe you're in their Wi-Fi, or however they figured it out. Obviously, they've got tech now for it. And the word they used was bomb or whatever. It lit up. And this bloke got stopped. They basically done what they had to do to him, checked to make sure, like, what was this bloke going to do and everything. And obviously, it was just some kid. The kid was literally cracking a joke to his mates. And then he gets on the plane, does whatever he's got to do. And he gets this ban, and then he gets this like ridiculous number. I think it was like 20,000 or something ridiculous like that dollar fine for making the joke. It's like, it's so weird where like the older generation can't really see what we see as jokes now. Because if I say a
and
joke,
vice versa too.
and obviously they have to protect their ass.
Yeah, I'm with you in that specific scenario. I don't think the fine is fair, but I get why they do that since 9/11.
Totally.
Oh, big time. What I'm saying is
it
like,
has cracked down hardcore, because I think it was more that they opened their eyes to realize how easy it is to an extent to cause such a major drama. You just need to go onto a plane with something sharp, and you could kill thousands of people.
if he wanted to, he could run to the front and somehow
hundreds.
do something.
If you crash into something,
Oh, true.
that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big bomb. It's a bloody drone from COD.
It
It's
is a
like
big-
a
it is a
flying
big bomb.
RCX there.
Yeah, and so I was just making that connection because, like, again, young blokes just cracking some outrageous joke, but doing it online and then getting in trouble for it with a fine or suspended or...
Was there?
I think,
Yeah.
and I think this might be a good segue into our next topic as well. But I think the youth these days, with the access we have to the internet and that sort of stuff, is so desensitized to some of these jokes and that sort of stuff,
Yep.
because you look at the games people play, you look at, the videos that are trending, the jokes that trend, all that sort of stuff. You look at things like
I
that.
reckon it's the
I think-
videos more than anything, man.
I think
Yes.
people are so desensitized to making these jokes and that
I
sort of
don't know.
stuff.
I can't remember that much when I was a kid about. Well, obviously, social media was like when we were all growing up wasn't the thing it was. There was no
Massive.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram was still a
Reels,
brown
TikTok
logo on
shit,
your
yeah.
phone. Like,
But I can't imagine, like when I was 10, just as an example, I can't imagine wanting to watch a live stream of someone getting shot. Remember, there's that dude
yeah,
in New Zealand that
yeah,
live
shut up
streamed.
the mosques
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
And so when that was a thing, I remember getting on my phone straight away and thinking, holy fuck, I want to watch this so
Yeah.
bad. And probably,
so desensitized.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right,
Oh
if-
my God, I really want to watch
if we
this
all
dude
jump-
kill people.
If we jumped
what
on
the
Instagram
fuck's wrong with
right
my brain?
now, one of my reels would be insane
100%.
and like
Instagram's fucked now. Like every third reel is someone
No.
getting run over by a
But-
car
No,
or something.
Yeah.
X or Twitter is
Yeah,
that is
Yeah.
way worse. That
But
is
like-
just bloody
yeah, because they got no
like
guidelines
WorldStar
and shit now. Hey,
like that now.
I don't use X.
no, neither. But
like you can say like it's obviously bad, like we're grown up, so it's much different for us seeing this stuff. We'll send it to your mate and be like, this was nuts, or that's hilarious, or that joke's funny, or whatever. But I get what you're saying. Like if younger blokes saw it, they might think it's norm, and that could obviously escalate much more. But then it goes back to like, if you are gonna scroll and whatnot, do you not want to see that stuff? Like
Totally. Then that's why, honestly, that's why I had to
I
delete.
love some of the shit.
That's why I
but
had to delete TikTok at one point. When I was studying, I was so wanting that quick rush of little dopamine hits.
No, but no, I know what you're saying. Not that, like the bad content we're talking about.
Same thing though.
I
the
fucking
same
love
concept.
that shit.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing more funnier to me than my mate sending me some outrageous thing on reels and like all of us talking about it for a second. Like we can say it's bad and whatnot, but we are desensitized to it, and we didn't see it when we were younger. But it is
I remember
hilarious,
the
and I'll use that
first-
word.
The
It's
first
hilarious.
outrageous things that I used to see was it must have been Facebook Messenger and maybe Kick Messenger group chats. It would be like the videos of like someone using like a wood lathe or something, and they'd get their hand stuck in it, and it would go into a group chat. It'd be a
Yeah.
20-second clip of just someone's skin getting
Or
ripped
it'd
off,
be
or
like
them
the-
getting their hair
the
ripped off.
headings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. When I
And
That was
that's
a
where
big
it
thing back in
started.
the day.
Yeah.
And I reckon this was like 2013. maybe.
yeah,
I was
13 to
12,
like
13,
16
14.
something like around that.
Yeah,
sort
and
of
because that
area.
was before obviously things like TikTok, Instagram. That's where all that like us wanting to watch all these absolutely ridiculous clips started. And like looking back at that, I still think it now when I'm talking about it. Sounds really stupid. But then when I'm sitting there by myself or whatever, and this video comes up, I go, "Fuck yeah, I want to watch this."
I laugh
That's
so
dumb.
much by myself.
It's a train. It's a car wreck,
So
train
odd.
wreck thing. It's where
So odd.
it's just
You can't not look.
You can't not look at it, even
Yeah.
though it's going to be the worst thing. in the world.
I
That's
still
why
will slow down going
I'm-
past a car that's
I'm
crashed.
gravitated
It's outrageous.
to.
We went
Yeah.
past the cars just then. There was
Yeah.
4 cars. And I
I'm,
was standing there going,
I'm super gravitated to like
I was
9/11
just like down half
documentaries
the
and
speed.
like
Oh, yeah.
plane
I
crash
love that
investigation.
shit.
Oh, you
and
name it on
stuff like that.
Netflix. I've watched it. If it's a doco, I've watched
Yeah.
it. All
That's
of the
the
true
thing, it's
crime
'cause
stuff.
if-
yeah,
Yeah.
It just pulls people in.
Oh, 100%.
everything is so polarizing now.
And that's why, going back to this school thing, that's why the news is going to keep talking about it, because that's what gets the views.
Oh, 100%.
I can tell you right now from stuff I heard from professors I had at university, because I did a media degree, worthless piece of thing. But when they would work in newsrooms during big terrorist attacks, things like that, and the producers were over the moon. 'Cause like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going to get X amount of
Yeah,
views. We're
yeah.
going to get this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I hope there's more stuff happening.
That's that competition though, where they've got to nail it because there's 20 other people talking about it,
yeah, but
They've
it's
gotta
still,
nail
it's
it.
so fun. I understand why they
the
do it.
world loves,
and that's cash money, my
what's
friend.
what's that
Yes.
saying? The world loves
Tom? Yeah.
the world loves Tom. No, the world loves chaos. Like we love seeing crazy shit, and it's just the dark.
Well, it breaks up
truth.
that boring day-to-day
And
shit that everyone
exactly,
does.
like,
Exactly that.
That's what I was saying.
monotonous
I
stuff.
wouldn't have it anyway. Then, like as I said, Instagram's gone wild with the comment section. We've spoke about it before.
Oh yeah.
If you go see like someone doing something that you'd laugh about with your mates, you go look at the comment section.
oh yeah.
These
ruthless.
Actually,
people
going
are
back
Have
to
you
what
seen the
just said
ones
real
where
quick.
people
Oh.
will get someone's IP address and post their IP address in the
Yep.
comments and go,
Yeah.
"I know where you live,
Yep.
brother."
Yeah,
What?
crazy.
No, that's
If I'm 10 and posting on TikTok and
That's
someone send me
ridiculous.
that, I'm breaking my phone over my knee that
They
second.
love going.
That's
at kids
terrifying.
too. Yeah.
no, No, because people go too far. Like,
Crazy.
remember when swatting became a big thing?
Oh yeah.
People have
All the
died
streams
from
getting
that.
swatted. Yeah.
I beat you in COD. I'm gonna have some right police come in
Yeah.
and shoot me in the head, execution
They
style.
do that. Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like not as much.
I
here
bet you beat
because
me in
we're-
COD. I'm gonna ban your IP
Yeah, we're
address.
gonna ban you in real life.
That's
Yeah.
To sum it up, they just got to know what like they would have got this type of talk and like so comfortable with it from Instagram comments, from everything, and like
exactly. They're just so they.
Yeah, but tier lists have been a craze for ages now.
Yeah.
no, but
Oh,
like
I
I'm
just-
saying, the
more the talk,
comfortability
yeah.
to say like,
100 exactly right.
Because if
to
you look-
to be like, oh, this is okay. To
if you
talk
look at
about.
an Instagram comment section, those words are used 1,000 times.
Yep.
And I think
and they're hyped up, and we laugh about them, and you can't look at me right now and say you don't fucking laugh about them.
Well, some of them you just look at and you go, this is so outrageous, but it actually made me giggle.
Exactly, and it's just like, do they go to every Instagram comment, find that account, find out what they said, and treat it like they meant what
the
they
thing
said?
is, the
It's like,
problem
where's
is
that thing? Where's that
this.
line?
I mean, it's sad to say, but this is probably happening at every single school.
That's what I mean.
And
All of these,
the
even
media's
the poor derelict schools,
Yep.
this is happening, but it doesn't make news because it doesn't say
yeah.
a private
it's-
grammar
it's
school.
30 grand.
No one
30
gives a
Yeah.
shit.
Hey, it's not
Yeah.
every kid, but I can tell you there's going to be super depraved stuff.
Oh
posted.
yeah,
'Cause
everywhere.
I remember some of the stuff that happened at my school. Other schools, I'd seen some outrageous things.
oh yeah.
Like people going onto teachers' phones, unlocking their password somehow, and saving their nudes and sending it to the kids and going through the
Nah.
group
I've got
chat.
some nuts. stories
Nah.
about teachers
Yes.
and whatnot.
Wait, what was that app called where hate first Ask FM? Ask
Oh,
FM
yes.
was so cooked. Do you
Yes.
remember Ask FM?
Rogue,
Yeah.
rogue,
Where
rogue.
people would be like, ask me something, and it would just be, I hate
Anonymous.
you, kill yourself.
Yeah.
And it could be anonymous.
Why is this guy laughing?
Anonymous.
Because it's funny and you can't tell me it's
literally,
fucking not.
I hate you, kill yourself. I've got your nudes, reposted, bang.
Yeah, but
What?
I get
This
sort of
15-year-old
get why you're
chick's
laughing,
just
but there's
doing
people
bloody
who are like full on like
like for like.
super cyberbullying, like dying from
Insane.
shit like that.
Yeah, 100%. And like,
Like for like.
If
I've got
I
a photo of your nude, bang.
if
Yeah.
I say something about
What?
someone, that's very different from Bob, who actually means it. And that's that thing with comedy. It's like, because of the comment sections, where
If it was,
who do you take
if
seriously?
it was anything else, if it's Ask FM, which was anonymous, the whole point of it, and they're saying kill yourself, like you should die, blah blah. I think that's meant with something because there's nothing to back it up.
Exactly.
That's
so,
a joke.
So
at
Yeah,
all.
what
yeah.
about the Instagram comments? So I'll see a video of someone doing like a bigger girl doing a fitness activity or something. And
Oh, well, that's different because it's tied to an account and things like that.
Just-
There's times where
And
that
I'm
will
sure
be a
those
joke,
comments would get
times-
removed at some point.
Yeah,
and
there's times where
not
that
gonna
will
get
be
to
a
all of
joke,
them,
and there'll
they
be times
obviously
when
would.
it's not.
Bro,
they've got guidelines.
I'm saying these kids got that linger from how how just wild Instagram comments and stuff
Yeah.
is.
I get what you're saying, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you take seriously? Of course, they've got to treat it seriously, because what if they meant it? Same with the plain one. What if he was going to do something? I understand all that. And it's like you were saying, I hope nothing comes of it. But I feel like it's getting to that point where you can't say shit. If you're going to say shit, say it in confidence with your mates and where everyone understands what's going on and we know who's talking. You can't really say stuff online anymore unless it's an Instagram comment section.
Yeah. Look, and the things that are getting said, it's not like we should say, oh, freedom of speech. You should be able to say that. Like, it's not that. It's
No.
you shouldn't be saying these things. But yeah, it is getting pretty outrageous. But
Yeah.
like I said, I reckon there's so much stuff that starts from the He's right. There's so much
Just
stuff.
telling him to kill himself. It's all good.
There's
We're gonna
so
have to
much
cut this
stuff
whole
that starts
thing.
from the social media, and like what Saz and Tom, what we were talking about that night, Darko decided he had to leave, was the whole
What one?
brain, the whole brain rot
Tonight.
thing. Like, so I'll see a middle-aged woman wheeling her 2-year-old child around,
Yep, keep
holding
going.
an iPad. The videos this 2-year-old is watching on YouTube is mental.
It's
Mental.
have you guys? I mean, that's
You just
that's
next
a
time
different
you're
thing.
around
That's
public
like
or at the
content.
shops or something, just look at the first kid you see.
So when you're saying brain rot,
look at the first, it's just
So Gabe's actually getting a bit mixed up. You're thinking it is brain rot, but
Yeah.
that's more like content farm shit where it's like
same
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
I mean, it's like much of a muchness, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But like
the
for
videos
kids,
where the kid will literally can't do anything but look at this screen not blinking, and if you take this iPad, the kid will lose its shit.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's
that's
so
happening from young.
addicted to this fucking one video.
Yep.
Bloody skibbity toilet or...
Yes, stuff like that.
Do you even know what we're talking about?
Sigma Rizzo Hayagiat.
We'll pull up
like
a
that.
video. You'll
Pull it
watch
up right-
this
pull
shit
it up
and
right
you'll
now
lose
so
your
I'm-
mind.
So
So
he's
I'm
mentioned
involved, so I know
brain
what's
rot
going
to
on.
me before.
So
but
we'll do
like,
content.
Literally,
brain
this
rot.
this
so where is that stuff? Because this stuff doesn't come up for
YouTube.
me.
I reckon it's
And I can
YouTube
tell
and
you
YouTube
right now,
Shorts.
some of these videos are billions of views.
Yeah, but
It's-
so are they on Instagram Reels and
No,
stuff?
it's
No, it's
YouTube.
YouTube.
It's
It's
YouTube.
YouTube.
So people go on to watch just this because you showed me one, but I don't
No,
understand it.
the parents will just because the kids start watching it, they'll just give the phone, and this 2-year-old who knows how to use an iPad better than anybody else.
And they like the memes.
They just click on it, and it'll just be shorts, and they'll just move
I'm
through
gonna
it.
try and find some.
It's all
Is
half.
this shit like AI?
Some of majority. of it
yeah,
probably
it would
is.
have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're doing it. I don't even know what to
Just type in brain rot. Last time you did that.
Yeah, but that was more the brain rot stuff, not like I know what you're trying to look for, like the kid stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll show you the video of the
Well, you've
bloody
seen
dog.
all the memes of Coco Melon and kids being angry.
Yes, it's like
Coco Melon.
Yeah. Actually, I do dog. Okay, look at this.
yeah.
This is like, what is
And
this?
all I think about, this is fucked.
Who's watching this?
Kids, man. 2-year-olds are watching this. I promise you.
Someone you love. Riz. Do they teach you how to feel? Sigma to Sigma. Riz. Do you long for having your heart riz?
See, I don't believe it.
Riz.
Brother, I see this every day at work.
Yes.
Baby Gronk, rizzed up Libby Dunn. Riz.
So what? It starts from a meme. They make the meme into a repetitive thing.
Yeah, probably. It's a
It's
bot doing
not
it.
even memes. I think
So none of
I
the
think it's
brain rot
hard to you to understand because you haven't experienced it. It is so. I
Yeah,
don't
go-
know how to articulate it.
Go top
It's-
right. Go top right.
And the thing is,
I know what you're
So
saying.
these kids that are 2 and watching this, imagine when they're 14. It's gonna
Yes.
be. It is gonna be cooked,
I'm
bro.
so happy that I grew up with like the no technology until we hit
Yes.
like 13, 14 was roughly for
yeah.
me.
Well,
Just
so
because
Look, it's just the same video there.
we're fucking
Subjects
edgy.
and material.
Yeah, this is just like a fucking essay. But yeah, there's so many kids, 6-year-olds coming up and talking about edging
Yeah.
and things like that. It's like they don't understand what it is.
Honestly,
but it's
I've had a
the most
6-year-old walk up to me while I'm at work and go, "Excuse me, sir, have you ever edged to
here
a
we go.
Riz or something like that?"
Yeah.
And I go,
Hey,
"What did you just say
I've
to
heard
me?"
kids at work say, "Oh, I'm gonna go edge Riz Giat Ohio Kai Sanat."
Yeah, it's
Like
cooked.
it's,
So- it's coming back.
Oh,
to
drop
like-
kick the little.
this
Bro,
this is what it's
I'm
like.
concerned. I don't want to drop kick them. I want
On
to
the
drop
top
kick
here?
them to the hospital, bro.
Look at that shit at the top. What is this? Kids are watching this.
And they're hooked on it, bro. Hooked. Proper.
I remember when I was like 6 years old, I was addicted to chopping trees on RuneScape. I just wanted to fucking farm my logs.
No, it's it's struggle to even find it, but these are getting.
Don't go
ridiculous
too hard
billions.
because your YouTube will be cooked for a month.
I'm not
if you
signed
watch-
in.
Oh, true.
But
If you do this, your YouTube will be absolutely cooked
like
for a month.
look at this. I've seen this one around before.
Don't look because you'll get addicted, Sam.
I just won't. So it's that.
He says, I think Tom and Gabe are trying to like seduce us.
So it's the whole point of like they just try and get you to sit there and
Yes,
like,
and just
That's
literally get hooked on
and
the
then
screen.
kids watch it and they get desensitized.
And think about you watch a couple of
and then-
these, and you know when you go on your shorts, and I got the suggested ones for you, and you just click on one, and now they've got that autoplay feature. The video ends, it scrolls
This-
for
this-
you
yeah.
automatically.
This is more
it
the
doesn't even
ones-
skip. You can just the kid just sits there like this.
This one here is more what
In
the
the
kids are
pram.
looking at. They're not looking at the fucking actual brain rot shit. They're looking at stuff like this.
Yeah.
Is this similar to like when you're on TikTok and like, let's say there'll be a snippet of a podcast, but the other thing's like someone playing GTA or something? Like, you know, the two videos on top of each other?
Not really.
No.
I get
Not
addicted
really.
to that shit. I'm not even
What was
listening to the story.
Nah, that's used so they don't get copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah, please pull this off. This is pointless.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the same.
struggling to actually show like what we're talking
No,
about.
I understand the whole thing. Yeah,
My-
it's just-
what
if you
my
see it
thing
over the
is-
next few days, just put it in the
What
chat.
what my thing
No,
is,
I'll watch this one. This is what kids are watching these days.
Oh, yeah, when they're watching it, I promise you when I say it is full brightness, full volume, this far away from their face.
Yes. And that's
fucked.
what I'm
It
worried
is
about.
cooked.
Is like, it's every single generation. They're like, oh, the newer generation is fucked up. They're not gonna be able to solve XYZ thing. This is the next level. If you are basically straight out of the womb and you can't survive without your iPad 9th generation in your face, the amount
9th gen.
well,
That's the cheapest one, mate. $4.49.
yeah, the reason I say that is because I legitimately, we're just basically calling out where we work, but whatever. I have probably sold legitimately probably 500 of those things to mothers who are like, oh, they broke the last one.
Yeah.
Or they did this, they did that.
Oh, yeah,
it's just for the kid.
Oh, your skibbity toilet will clock out. The internet's not working. Kid just throw the iPad at the ground.
Yeah,
So-
they want to sell
need
you
a
one,
new
so
one.
they don't
So
have
the
that.
the difference is we grew up and we said we're bored or something, and your parents said
Go and kick a ball
go
outside.
go outside.
Yeah,
go
go
and
see your
ride,
mate, go
push
to your mate's
bikes.
house. or
I grew up
something.
on Fail Army.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but no, we're talking about when you're 5.
the difference is like from like that
5
fresh
to
babies,
12.
we'd go outside, and now everything's like probably don't let your kids outside as much because
Yeah.
shit happens.
Yeah.
So they give them an iPad, they watch this stuff because they're smarter than the parent. Then they'll keep watching stuff. Like it's a bit different now because we look at some nuts comments and we don't think anything of it, and we're never going to do anything about it, and we're never going to think like it. But they're just going to grow up through this crazy way of doing
Yeah.
stuff,
And
and it mushes their brain.
Absolutely.
From working, I've met heaps of kids that are like mushed as their brain.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not the same as what we used to be like. Like
Yes.
there used to be like 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds who were like very capable of doing stuff. And like I remember the stuff me and my mates were doing when we were like 11 and 10, like going out building jumps and constructing actual things and stuff. Now they like don't.
Do kids play with Lego still?
That's what I was going to
I
say.
love
Lego,
Lego.
Bionicle, stuff like that, where it was actually promoting creativity. It's not a thing anymore
How the fuck was Bionicles like promoting creativity?
because you're playing with them, like making stories up,
Yeah.
making new things. It's the exact same idea as Lego. I mean, it's the same company.
One's building, one's got like an action figure.
Yeah, but you build it and you can
Yeah,
make
you have to
new
put it
ones out of
together.
it.
Yeah, same concept.
It's much better than watching a screen.
Yeah,
Yes,
but like I
100%.
used to play with Bionicles back in the day. I loved Bionicles. But it's like, oh, you make stories up of, oh, this guy's going to fight this guy, and you make scenes and stuff like that.
My
Yeah,
thing
so
with
yeah.
Lego was making like the most realistic looking thing you could.
Yeah.
Like Lego City. Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'd dump my whole bank account right now to have a room full
Or
of
like
Lego
Meccano
City.
sets and like
Hectic,
all
man.
that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Sum it up. Kids are doomed.
No, I think society is. I mean,
they just got to
Yeah,
get
but we're
outside, man.
okay, but like
yeah, but the
in
thing
a
is,
way
this is
that
the
like-
next generation. And the thing is, the reason why they're getting
Bro,
all
these
these
are going to be our
iPads-
kids, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason
Yeah,
is
but it's
because
how you do
it's
it,
so easy
Oh,
to
yeah.
just give that to them and they're occupied
and
for the
I
rest of the
understand
day.
it, and I
And it's
understand it.
hey, I'm not gonna try and
yeah, it's
shit
so
on all
easy.
these parents because I understand it's hard being a parent. But man, if you're just giving your kid the iPad every day, it's gonna mush them.
Think
I had
about
a limit
this.
on how long I could play PlayStation
Yeah,
each week.
same.
It's like an hour or two.
Think about this. Now, I don't know how your parents like trade with yous and whatnot, but when I was younger, it was literally like, where are you going? We're going to do this. Who's going? We're going to do this. Piss off. I'd come back 10 hours later and there was no questions asked. Would you nowadays let your kid
Yeah, I don't reckon.
9, 10, 11,
all.
12,
Yeah.
would you just let them go out? And
When
that's
was the last
yeah.
time you've just even been driving and you see a kid kicking a ball out in their front yard?
see the
or out on
occasional
Riding a
Sure.
bike even.
the
Yeah,
occasional-
Yeah, you don't
exactly.
see pushies out, man.
So now I do understand it. Like,
From
especially
like-
with parents
From like
giving
what
them the
10
iPad.
to like 17, basically when I got my P's, pushy every day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Out in the street, we go to Glen Rock.
Yeah, from like
Man,
Right,
as a
yeah.
kid, I was sprinting up and down my street with a footy.
kindergarten,
No, like, honestly.
kindergarten to probably year
Running
7.
straight.
It was
Yeah.
every day get home, see what mates were out and would go to like the golf course and kick the footy around, or we would go explore or do whatever. There'll be days where you want to sit home and do something, but there's not much on. You'd be
Yeah.
watching ABC cartoons for a couple
Yeah,
of hours.
remember you'd be pissing down the rain outside and you're thinking, what the fuck am I going to do today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to wait for council pickup days, like take all this rubbish and try and make a fucking platform in a tree.
All right, that's the most ethnic thing I've ever heard. That's
Yeah,
hectic.
man, yeah, we had
That's
a place.
Did you do the same?
We had a place called Three
Well,
Store.
yeah,
that
he's
was made
ethnic,
out
so
of-
he's going to agree.
But it
Right,
wasn't.
at the
It
end of
was
our
all
at the
Aussie
end of
kids.
our
It was all
street,
Aussie
yeah,
kids.
my street was all Aussie kids as well. We were lucky. There was literally no female children in my street, so it's just the boys every day.
Like,
I
it
get
was
what you
so
mean. That's
funny to
hectic.
me.
Nah, so
No, it's just
No,
the boys.
in my street, I understand fully what you're saying. My next door neighbours, both girls, I hung out with them and stuff, but pretty much no dudes my age, and it made it hard.
In the
So
whole
I was always hanging out with my schoolmates rather than like
yeah.
streets.
Yeah, like that.
street
I had,
kids.
that was sort of the same with me when I was early primary school. I get
Yeah.
what you mean in that sense. I just thought it was funny you said
our
BMX.
whole suburb, we had like 4 or 5 like proper setup BMX tracks, jumps,
Yes,
and whatnot.
that's
Yeah.
hectic.
And like we
That's
built
awesome.
them and stuff,
Hectic.
and that's very different. Our parents would just let us go do it,
Yeah.
and now they can't, and now brains are mush.
Yeah, you
now.
get in trouble for getting home too late because dinner's done. Now
Yeah.
it's the other way around.
Yep,
You-
yep.
like,
I remember that a lot.
Yeah.
I
it's
was at the
dark. Where
beach
are
too
you?
long.
Dinner's ready.
Yeah. I'd come home and mum would get the wooden spoon out because dinner was on too long and I stayed at the beach too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't cook parents for it. I guess there's a fine line of like how to raise a kid now.
Yeah, and also it's a lot harder
Yeah,
now.
but people
Yeah.
just say, "Oh, I'm time poor." So, like Tom said, they just give them an iPad, and it's like they're occupied.
Yeah.
It's like we'll get there one day.
No,
get
but
there
it,
one day.
it does.
in 3 months.
It's also the content's fault, like this shit. But they're racking up views for whatever they're doing and whatnot.
They're
and
making crazy money off
so
of it.
I
that
definitely
sums that
think
up.
like it's not on the kids. The kids don't just
No.
decide to go buy an iPad. It's on the parent for, not call it parenting right. I'm not trying to put everyone under the spotlight, but
I will say, like Gabe and I know a few people we work with younger kids, and I've got some other friends who've got younger kids, and all of the people I know are fairly good with it. The kids have got iPad
yeah, but
time
for you
and
guys,
things like that.
you guys that see this shit every day, it would be easier for you to raise a kid because you know what's like corrupting them.
Yeah, I guess that we see the bad
Yeah.
side of it.
Well, that's right. We
Yeah.
see the bad bit of it.
Yeah,
We're only serving 20 customers a day, let's say.
Yeah,
There's
it's different.
500,000 people in Hunter Valley. So we're only seeing the worst of it.
Mm.
But it's still bad, man. Like, you just got to see this shit. Next time, you'll see it. Next time you're at the shopping centre, you'll see a kid on an iPad, and just, if it's on the escalator or something, watch what they're watching on the iPad, and you'll think back to this conversation and go, what the
yeah,
It's outrageous.
They look like they're
Possessed.
rigged up to it. Yeah, like an
Yeah.
IV drip, and their
Oh,
face
I've
is
seen
drooling.
it. I've seen it a
Insane.
million times. I've just got to help. But it's kind of the exact same as me laying in bed, got my phone there, my crazy Instagram reels are just sitting there and I'm scrolling for a bit.
Yeah, I
whatnot.
think doom scrolling's a bit different. You definitely get stuck in that thing, but you're not reliant on it. Well, at least I don't think I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
It's something you do, but it's like, oh, I could go up and do this thing or this thing. It's not like your whole life is doom
They
scroll.
can't do nothing. Yeah, okay.
I've
Yeah.
got relatives who are teachers, and it is impossible to get kids to sit down. Everyone's got ADHD now.
Yeah.
They won't do anything. Phones and everything are banned at school. Were phones banned at your schools?
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
Now, weren't at mine.
Yeah.
So
They said they were banned.
primary school,
Completely
primary
fine.
school
Yeah.
is banned.
These
Even
days it's-
iPods and shit. you couldn't
Honestly,
get.
even if you're a bit of a quit to the teacher too, and they'd say, "Oh, give me your phone," you just put it in your bag and then
Yeah.
just walk away from them.
Yeah.
Like they,
These days, it's like, hey, there's
You
a
gotta
box
put it in a
that-
box,
and
yeah.
it's locked for the rest of the day.
yeah.
It's crazy.
So my parents told me at our local high school, the one I went to, they tried recently this lockbox method. I think it was during the hours of school, where like I remember I used to just sit there in front of the teacher on my phone. They did not give a shit. They were
Yeah.
like, if you want to learn, you're going to learn. If you don't want to learn,
Wait,
you
was
don't
it
wanna learn.
your science teacher that didn't care the most?
No, I was loving science. There would
Yeah,
always be
that's
there was
woodwork.
always be
Oh
like
yeah,
there was be the kids at the back that
because I feel like there's that joke. It's always like, it's like
science teacher's a cool teacher. Is what you're saying?
well, the ones that just don't care. Or you see the memes and it's like the science teachers like doing their job or whatever, and it's like the two kids up the back, and then it's just like cuts to Gordon Ramsay like cooking, because it's always like talking about how people just take the absolute piss in the science rooms.
Yeah, so this they tried the lockbox, and then my brother's like, "Yeah, I broke it. You just got to break it a certain way, and then like you can get the phone out." And then he had some method that he would always have his phone with him because he broke.
How addicted are you that you need
Yeah,
to know
that
how
is
to
pretty
break
bad.
the lockbox?
Okay, if you told me,
If his brother's anything like him, he's probably a little hustler. He's like slinging iPads on the side or
no,
something.
but if you tell me I got to go back
Slinging
to high,
honey.
if I went back to high school and I couldn't have my phone with me, bullshit. I was going to school. High school, primary school, I understand. Oh, you'd be running around 24/7, but like high school, like
Saz has got at least 30 Snapchats to open at lunchtime.
yeah, hundo.
you live on our phones at high school and shit.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I literally, I reckon in my year, I don't know about yous, but 80% of the class had headphones in
yeah.
with Apple headphones put up their
Yeah,
down the
Yeah.
sleeve, and
Yep.
you would put your
Yeah.
like that, listening to music.
And it's just like that thing, like as a teacher,
everyone had their
some
phone in their
teachers would
pocket.
biff about it. Some teachers would be like, "I understand. You do what you want to do. If you want to learn, you want to learn." But it's the way things are now. It's certain things can change and whatnot.
I would say I think it's fine that they don't have phones these days because everyone's got a laptop. Everyone's got all this other tech they need to have for school that is
I was
already
gonna say,
connected.
by the time I was in year 12 and everyone had their laptop, like I virtually did my entire HSC except for the actual HSC on my computer, right? I didn't really write anything. Maths I did in a textbook,
Had
but
to do your
everything
margin.
else, but everything else I wrote in my computer. So I wasn't really on my phone unless I was playing Clash of Clans in year 12 because I was just
Bring that
messaging.
back.
I was
so
messaging
that could
people
be
on my
considered
computer.
brain rot, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's our version of like staying on our phone. Like,
Nah, because you had to get off because you had to get your army to train. That sometimes took 45 minutes. So.
Yeah.
but you understand what I'm saying. It's the kids, as you said, they
I-
can't do anything.
I feel
unless
like
you
I'm
give them the
with all
I'm a
iPad.
fairly
Yeah.
big
4
tech
hours.
guy,
Yeah.
and in school I deliberately
Cookies.
made the decision.
Cook up
Also,
some rage spells.
Dad was never going to probably give me a laptop, but I deliberately did the last couple of years of school, pad and pen, because I wanted to get my handwriting better. You've seen how bad my handwriting is.
Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work. Like my
Also-
handwriting is horrendous.
Also, you're an adult at that point.
I was 16.
Yeah, but you can make decisions. It was back to that thing you were saying. The kid gets given the iPad, and that's what the whole thing is.
Oh yeah,
talking about.
when you're younger, but I'm talking about in school. I mean,
Yeah.
like I made that conscious decision. I hated school. I knew that a lot of the ways they taught was just not for me.
Same. Once I figured that out, glass shattered.
Yeah, it just wasn't, and a lot of the stuff was so subjective. I was always very good
Yeah.
at subjects where, like maths, where that's the definitive
Same,
answer.
man. Love maths.
English, I'm sorry,
They taught a lot of bullshit maths too.
Not really.
not really.
Okay, you tell me you use the stuff that you learn.
No. What
No,
Tom's saying
no.
is there's no subjectivity.
Yeah, I understand
behind
what
it.
you're saying. Like,
Yeah,
if
yes
you're
or
gonna
no.
talk, if you're gonna work this out or talk about it, that's the way it is.
Yeah, like I'm not using
understand.
Pythagoras' theorem every
There's
day.
no. I've got an answer, and it might be right, but it
Yeah,
might not be
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's
Yes,
right or
especially
wrong. It's
like
black and white.
You're saying it's
yeah.
not going to change.
in
so
English,
I
I
learned.
had to do a lot of film study stuff, as we all did. We watched like Shawshank or Rabbit
Oh,
Proof
yeah.
Fence or whatever that was.
Fucking
I remember
English,
going
man.
into university and doing proper essays
barely
and
fucking speak the
exegesis
cunt.
about these films, doing the exact same type of stuff I was
So
doing
how
in
do they
school.
grade you on something that is subjective?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is in high
because
school.
you need to explain your reasoning.
In high school,
why
I used
you've
to
said
get
this.
these really bad marks for all this stuff, and I was like, I was fairly film centric back then, and I was like, oh, I'm getting all these bad marks because the teacher's saying no, this isn't what it is. Then I go into university and write similar stuff and get great marks because, like, yep, this is a really good way you've deconstructed this and thought of this and that. It's because it was so all subjective.
I've got a hot take for you. I've already said it. School is absolutely bullshit. You should go to school from preschool to primary school. You should do all that. That teaches you all the connections with people, playing, learning, sharing, talking. They should have a certain amount of years in high school to learn what you need to learn. So when we kick you out, you're ready.
Yeah,
And
but
everyone
what-
always says it.
Then you're deciding what you think is to learn. Then you're going back to what you're saying that's subjective.
Yeah, but they've
Do you not think that doctors and lawyers and all these people go to
they've got
university?
something set up right now that you have to do no matter what. Okay, so how
You
do
don't
they-
think they should go to year 12? Is that what
No,
you're
but I'm
saying?
saying people can choose their path. Is like another
They
way of
can.
saying.
You can leave in year 9.
But what I'm saying is what they're teaching you, everyone that has a dollar to their name has always said it was bullshit what you were teaching us because it was just, you're going to sit down, you're going to learn this way. This is our way of learning and you're going to learn this. When there could have been another way of doing it of like, I don't know, you could either leave for whatever reason.
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, I left early because
But you can. That's
once
what-
I figured out it was bullshit. What I'm saying is
yeah.
an actual way of keeping people there. Okay, did you get teached anything about investing and stuff like that? Like you could do a business studies
You
thing.
can't say school's bullshit and then use
say
word
teached. Yes.
Taught.
No, I didn't get taught
I know
anything
some
about
of the richest people in the world, and Spanian does not talk properly. Spanian does not talk properly, and he's richer
Richest
than
people
all
in the
of us.
world, Spaniard.
No, but in
Yeah,
Australia,
why is
he's
it all
got
about
a
money,
buck
Saz? Why is it all about money?
because it's like it's the form of like, I'm gonna leave this place. This place is prepping me for the world. Once you left, you're like, shit, what the
Well, no, I think school is prepping you for university.
Yep.
So that's why people who leave school early don't go to university.
Okay, so this is someone who went to university
Yeah.
to get accreditation.
Yeah.
That's you had a goal, and
No, not necessarily.
But you had to get something because you can't go rub blokes
Yes, you
without
can.
this thing.
You don't have to finish high school to do that.
Oh, yeah, that is mental. I love it.
Nah, but like
You don't. No, not at all.
You
You
needed
can.
to learn that thing.
No, you don't. You can drop out in year 10 and go and do what's it called?
I'm not talking
New
Mr.
start or whatever.
Yeah,
New step.
New
Okay,
step.
but
That's what I
I'm
did.
not talking about Mr. Miyagi. That was like a Chinese lady just rubbing you down. I'm like, you needed to learn a form
That
of
camera just made a noise.
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, keep talking.
you needed to like you wanted to if you were in high school and university for like becoming a doctor,
Yeah.
you need to go through those steps.
Yes.
That's a given.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying it's not useless.
Okay, but I'm saying unless you want to do them,
Sure,
for
that's
the
fine.
other stuff, they should be prepping you. And everyone's always said they don't prep you to leave and go look after yourself, basically.
No,
and you
I
can't
agree
say
with
they
you.
do.
Yeah.
You
I didn't say they
can't.
did, but
Yeah.
I didn't say it's useless, which is what you said.
I would say 9
think
times
it's
out of 10
useless.
useless.
I
don't
didn't
think
finish
so.
school. I turned out all right.
Yeah.
But
I
that's,
think
that's-
9 times out of 10 now is doing the same thing.
but that's not me saying
No,
that
not at all.
school's no good.
I think there'll be more horror stories of people leaving school. Think about people who drop out of school because of drugs, teen pregnancies. You're looking at the successful stories, which is not very many.
Yeah, okay. But that's like saying like, if I wanted to, because I was in the trade industry, the tradies, none of them stayed in school. 9 times out of 10, none of them stayed in school, and they
Mhm.
left and started the business. Of course, that's
Yeah.
success. But that's what did you teach me, knowingly I wasn't going to go further, for when I left, for me to be ready.
I think
that's all
I think-
hands-on learning.
Well, I think school teaches you a couple
No,
of things.
not the business about like life. About what did you teach me to?
Okay,
live?
well, I'll tell you. I think school teaches consistency, which is important.
Yep.
It teaches discipline, which is important. You need to be at a place at this set time. You're doing this at this specific time. You need to be able to go home and do your homework, which is due at this time. You have an assignment that's going to be
I'm
due
not
at this
talking
time.
like younger and like young high school. That should already be set in stone.
Well, it's not though.
That's the thing.
it's not.
And that's
It's
what
not.
I was.
And it's
that's what I
getting
was-
worse, if anything.
And that's what I was talking about once you learn the basics of like
Like it's all good and well if someone can be consistent in what they do and knows discipline, but what's the point in teaching someone how to invest money if they can't even rock up to school on time? What's the point?
Yeah,
That's what school's
it's
teaching
like the big
people.
debate
but
where
that's
people
like
are
saying
like,
how am I going to teach you to build something if you're not going to rock up to the work site?
I think it is.
everyone
I
uses
think
that-
your
that's- yeah.
boss, when you first got your apprenticeship, if you rocked up late, I'm sure he wouldn't have let it slide.
yes,
Same
that's,
concept.
but that's what I'm saying. But like that doesn't you're saying that on like it doesn't work if this person doesn't do this. By that time that they're prepping us to leave because we're not continuing, those things are already set in stone. If I'm there,
Well, they should be, but I'm saying they're not.
okay. But that's the person making that decision.
Not necessarily. I don't think a person decides that they're going to be lazy.
Yeah, I mean,
decides that
that's
they're not
it's the
gonna-
big thing is like they all always everyone always complains they didn't teach me how to do my taxes in school,
Yeah.
but which I sort of like
Which they
yeah,
do if you do general math now, actually.
Oh, well, that's good.
Not,
But at
not
least when
advanced maths, but in
we
general
were
math,
there. But the thing is, and you've got to look at it realistically, which I would have loved to learn that. But were you going to listen? Were you going to take it in properly?
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
That's the thing.
I
It's like
was the biggest try hard, and everything to me was a competition. For maths, I was in the gift and talent because I thought to myself like, I need all this shit. This is like I'm going to do the best of it. Everything's competition. Once, as you said, that glass broke of this is bullshit, and like everyone's telling me all this shit, and then I'm realizing if I wasn't going to continue through that pathway, that you have to do it.
So it was too woke.
Well, I think that's
I
a
did
fine
have a-
thing
I
to
did
have.
have a woke,
But
moment.
clearly
and then I
you-
stopped trying.
You are a self-motivated person to teach yourself and find the things that you need to learn. People aren't like that. That's why people go to school and university because they aren't able to
Motivate themselves.
not even
or
motivate
drive
themselves, but figure out where they need to find this information. A lot of the things you've
So
probably
do you think that's them just staying in and following the pathway?
no,
and
that's
then
just who they are, Saz. Not everyone's wired the same way that you
yeah,
are.
there's a lot of people where school would have really helped if they stayed the whole way.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, no. I said that it's when we all had a joke when we all left, and when I'd be like, "Oh fuck, we'd rather be in school right now." But if you're just in there, just going through the motion, the fuck's the point of you being there?
Correct, but
So teach
so that
me
it's
something.
not useless then. It's useless to those people, but it's not useless to everyone. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not useless.
I think
It's
schools
incredibly important
I think
for
it's very
so
important.
many degrees and so many jobs that we have.
Degrees. That's what. That's.
Do you know
that's the
do you
claim
do
I
you know
made.
the like work workplace split that's made up from university degrees and why these people have to go to university.
I don't understand what you're trying to say right now.
Like, of all the professions in all of Australia, what percentage of them do you think come from you having a uni degree?
Probably a very small percentage.
A small percentage.
Yeah.
Think about every single job that has a degree. You think it's a small percentage. And you think that these people not going to school and us getting rid of those professions is a smart thing to do.
When did I say that?
Well, because you keep saying it's a useless thing to go to high school.
No.
Finish high school and go to university. It's not
The
though.
way they're teaching it.
Fucking hell, it's the sausages all over again.
No, but it's the claim is the way it is at the moment. If you aren't going to go through the motion and put that effort in, and then go through that pathway to get to that goal of taking the hat off, I can now do this profession. For those people that when I had the glass break, me, who's just sitting there and be like, I have to be here because my parents said, I was not getting taught certain things that were going to help me because they knew I wasn't going further. And so all those people made the decisions to stay home, game, to flunk, because it was that we all had the glass break of this is fucking pointless for us. So I'm not saying it's useless for those people because they have to do it. And if I made the thing of, because I would have been an architect at one point and I knew this is the pathway they told me to take.
Yeah.
If there wasn't another one, I couldn't. I had to do it.
Yeah.
So totally agree. They need that certificate. You need to do it. You have to do it. Understand all that. I'm saying for the normal whatnot who made that decision that they're not teaching them basic stuff that I've now had to go learn and I didn't have a fucking clue about.
But not everyone, and that's fine, but not everyone's interested in the things that you're talking about either.
No, I'm saying for like general stuff. Like my parents.
What?
Lucky
Okay, name it then. Name one that everyone...
Lucky I've got two parents. So anytime I've had to... Something about the transition of when you sell a car.
Yeah.
The paperwork that you've got to do. Me going to my banking and whatnot. Like they might teach you now. I've got no fucking clue.
So that's an incredibly niche thing.
And
you
there's
think
also
that's
a
something
profession of
monetary
people
thing
that help
that,
you with
that do that.
I get what you mean. You're more
You know what
asking
I'm
why
saying.
they don't say those life skills.
These little things that I'm going to go
Yes,
through.
It's all the life.
Because imagine, blessing, I've got two parents. Imagine if you didn't have dad there to teach her fucking the basic
Well, I guess
stuff.
that's where it comes down to, is school is trying to teach a range of things that's going to benefit the most amount of people. They're looking at the 95% they can teach, which they do well.
Do you reckon school's set up for the professions?
Of course it is.
Okay.
It's not set up. I think you learn more life skills. I think you learn more life skills from friends and family.
Yes, yeah.
One thing I will say, I would rather it be that than the other way around.
There is one thing that you guys probably wouldn't have experienced because you didn't go to uni, is the amount of people that were like the 98, 99 ATARs, the crazy, really good scores in high school. Once they got into uni,
very different level of learning.
Very different, and a lot of them drop out.
So
because it's all self-directed. It's
correct,
like this is what you need to do. You need to go out and look at these resources and learn it yourself, and we guide you along the way.
And guess what? If you fail,
school's there to
I don't
teach you
care.
the fundamentals.
Yes.
Not,
you're not
everything
spoon-fed
else.
the whole way. Where there was people in my school who were extremely smart and are getting those crazy marks, and they got into university and they just couldn't cut it.
But that's where uni's good, but it's separating.
Yeah, besides
It's
the hex.
Besides the...
But yeah.
Yeah, don't
Well,
get me
uni
started.
hones in on that one particular thing.
Yeah, because you've got... If you don't do it,
That's
you
why
don't
you
know
see
what
so
you
many
do.
people.
chose to do.
I mean, there's nothing wrong if you defer or anything like that. You realise this isn't what you want to do. But for me, at least, I had struggled in school a lot. As soon as I got into university, I thrived hardcore, and I went fairly good. I was bad
Because
at
it's
some of the-
targeted learning.
Exactly.
It's
It was like,
what
I
you-
want to learn
what
about
gets
this
you going,
stuff.
what
You
passionate
learned
about.
what you wanted to learn.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? A lot of this stuff that I'm even doing now wasn't taught at uni. It was because I was so interested. I went out and started seeking it elsewhere.
And that's what I'm getting at with Saz, where he's been interested in those things.
And that's why you've driven it
No,
out.
but
That's
I'm
what
not
you've been
talking about niche thing. I'm just talking about I've got to go. We've all got to go do this one thing, and I've got parents that are going to teach me how to do it. It's just that thing of setting with basic stuff up of how to do certain things. And this isn't. I haven't learnt to say this.
Well, the things
because I had a epiphany. It came from.
well now, okay.
other
So a lot of
people have
things.
said
So
it.
in general maths, you learn how to calculate interest
Mhm.
and understanding what a loan is. You learn how to you understand like percentages to do with tax. Is all these things you learn now in general maths, which is what you do in year 11 and 12. So they are starting to include that in more than anything. They're
at
starting.
11 and 12.
Yes.
So most of the people that are not going to stay aren't there at that point.
What? So do you teach it to a 13-year-old in year
No,
7?
I just
When do you teach it then?
late, like
Year
a
10.
late year 10s, because those
Right.
people are going to be leaving.
Okay.
Because we had to. How many younger people have you came in that you've had to explain
So
the way your job works in a very dumb way? Because they're like, when we worked with we done my sister, we had to break
That
everything
sounds
down.
outrageous.
My sister bought a car and she had to do the intricacies of interest,
figuring out tax.
all that. She had
interest, sorry,
no
yeah.
clue. Yes, this is the one person we're talking about, but I dealt with it a million times that I'd say something to a younger person and they'd be like, I've got no clue what you're talking about. And it was very basic stuff. She didn't even know that insurance was going to be a thing.
Okay. So this is my put back to that again. So if we're going to teach these kids in year 9 and year 10 how to calculate these things like interest and loans and all that sort of stuff, the maths then that we're cutting out, which is going to be maths that's beneficial to the kids who want to do year 11 and 12, who want to do advanced maths, who want to do extension maths.
Do you reckon they should be separated?
That's what I'm getting at. So then do we not teach the things that we're teaching in year 9 and 10 and we teach these other things earlier, but then are we having a catch-up game for the kids in 11 and 12 who need extension 2 maths to get into things like medicine?
We separate them like cattle, mate.
But then, so how do we separate it? Do you want to leave next year?
You kind
What
of...
if the kid goes, I have no fucking clue.
can't-
Did you know you wanted to leave a year before you left?
Yeah. I was begging for the second that my parents...
So you would have stuck your hand up and said, this is what I
7
would
and 8,
I would go into that.
absolute nerd and thought everything was
Yeah.
right. Then when I learned everything and got told if I wasn't going to go down this pathway, it was pointless to me and whatnot. And yeah, so I would have stuck
Yeah.
my... There was probably many times I was on a work site and be like, I wish I was back at school.
Yeah.
But
Look, and that's going back to then. School is accommodating for as many people as they can in the shortest amount of period that they can
It's unrealistic to expect the schools to have resources to tailor
to be able to do
every
stuff.
education
Yeah.
to every.
That's
And
why
then
it's not
also
for
every
everyone though,
type
and
of
that's
way
fine.
someone learns.
That's
Yeah,
why
exactly.
it's not useless at all by any stretch of the imagination. It might be not
no,
beneficial
the-
to some
the
people.
way things are getting taught, not the actual idea of how school's set up.
I understand what you're coming from
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
but the thing is, it's just unachievable.
I think if
Yeah,
we were a
c-
third
yeah.
world country where the professions were fucking nowhere, you could say, yeah, the way things are being taught are useless.
Third world countries beg for schools.
But
Like,
Yeah,
if you
the-
look,
the
you look at the state of
kids-
the country
Yeah.
and the employment and that sort of stuff. You got to probably say that the education system is doing what it needs to do. Realistically,
yeah, I don't.
kids nowadays are going to struggle.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a school.
But we're comparing education to life lessons.
Okay, have you seen those videos of high schools where the parent, mainly America, the parent will come in and see something being taught? I won't name what it is, but see something being taught and be like, I've given you over to my kid, entrusted you to look after them and teach them how to get around this world, and you're teaching them this shit and your ideologies and your whatnot, and your curriculum, which is nowadays what they're teaching them. I don't know if you've heard what they teach them and make them say, and the way you have to treat certain things, absolute wild. And I've said many times at a certain stage, obviously you got to have the money and whatnot, but I wouldn't want my kid to be in the hands of someone else learning this shit and getting told this shit because of how wild things are nowadays. That's what I'm getting at.
I get what you mean.
It's
but
always like
it's
at
al-
a certain point. It's like
it's always going to be
how do you make that judgment of when that point is? And
personal.
yeah.
Every person.
and as you said, it's like, when did you know?
Oh yeah, and that goes. I had some great teachers and I had some stinker teachers.
Yep.
And
Big
then,
time.
Always the
I
way.
had some teachers that I fucking love.
Hey, and the one thing I will say, when you have a good teacher, it sticks.
oh yeah,
It really
totally.
does. There's some people that definitely made a real big change in my life that were
Yeah, I
good
agree.
teachers,
Yeah,
and there were some bad ones that gave me nothing but grief.
I think there's a lot of times there's teachers that are absolute fucking nightmares for people, but it's like, who would be a teacher nowadays? Like,
Mm.
you saw those videos of the
It's
young
hard, man.
young kids punching the
It's hard.
teacher. Remember that teacher that got I think he was in New Zealand. Maybe he got he retaliated. The kid threw a chair at him.
Oh
I think I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, and he retaliated, and he got in trouble.
You
Yeah.
I've got, I won't say who, I've got very close relatives who are teachers, and you can't do anything anymore. I'm not saying bringing out the cane or anything like
Do it.
that back in the day,
Bring it out.
but you can get abused in your own private time and have your phone number called every night and told you're a dumb. I'm going to censor that, but the most vile things in the world, and the students still never get anything wrong, and as soon as you
Yeah.
retaliate, you're in trouble.
nothing will happen.
First-hand experience. I'll tell you off camera
We-
exactly what happened. But
We couldn't blink wrong at a teacher without getting in trouble. We would sometimes not do anything and get in trouble
Yeah,
off teachers.
that was same.
I would
my
literally be
English
sitting
teacher.
there
Oh my god, you
sometimes.
could sneeze and
I'd be
she'd kick me
sitting
out of the
there
room.
and they'd choose who they want to like.
I 100% agree.
But
with
that's
that.
like with anything. There's bad apples in everything.
Oh, totally.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
and there's bad apples in teachers, and sadly they're the ones having to raise basically the kids while the parents aren't there.
There's not many jobs in teaching anyway, because it's probably one of the most oversaturated jobs,
Yeah, it
because
is.
there's people who don't leave. They're there
For old teachers.
40, 50-year careers,
Hey,
and there is
my year 4 teacher
mm,
was my dad's teacher when he was in year
Yep.
3.
I had
The
a
same
teacher
lady.
like that as well.
Brother, what?
Just like
One of my
School day.
teachers
Outrageous.
taught my mum.
Talk about the longevity.
And she was a bitch when she taught me, and she was a bitch when
Yep.
she taught my dad. Apparently,
exact same thing.
40 years later,
Did you-
30 years
Did
later.
you realize like some of the things like teachers would say to you, and then once you like get at an age where you're like kind of defending yourself and your own opinion and shit, and you're like, you always look back, and I've had these conversations with mates. I said, I swear to God, if they spoke to me like that
Oh yeah,
nowadays,
yeah. I don't
what
stand
I
for
would do to
shit
them.
anymore. Yeah,
And it's
I agree.
weird. It's like, and it is a very weird line because like your parent is signing something to say you are technically have custody of my kid during these hours.
Yeah,
Technically, I think that's what it is. But then it's like, it's weird because you are trusting to give your child over to someone. Your child could be an absolute cunt. That's a big thing nowadays. Most kids
Yeah.
are stuffed. But then again, like some of the shit like I had happen to me, and like I had it pretty easy with teachers. I would fucking rock a teacher nowadays. I
So would I.
swear to God, if you
I'm
spoke
so lippy now.
out
It's
of
bad.
Mm.
it's not even
Yes,
lippy.
you
I just
are.
I just learnt like how the fuck you should talk to me and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a bad student. Like I wasn't like that bad where the teacher should be like.
I don't even think that's a power trip. Gabe and I see it. There are people who just talk down to anyone.
Yeah.
The amount of
Yeah.
times I have been verbally abused, God, I can't say words, for trying to help someone.
Oh yeah.
We had this
They-
conversation
yeah.
last week. You're the dumb
Yeah.
one, apparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally
I work
trying
here.
to help you,
Yeah.
coming in and getting screamed at.
Yeah. Like it's all your fault.
Yes, yeah, it's
I'm here to help.
I'm
you.
miserable, and it's
Mm.
all your fucking
Yeah, yeah,
fault.
yeah.
the amount of people
That's
that
what a
come
lot
in,
of teachers were, but
come with a
Yeah.
problem that's got nothing to do with where we work, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and help you anyway because nothing's going on, and I'm just going to be nice. And it's my fault that this big multinational company has some procedure with this item that they've got, and it's my fault that they did it. And I just look at them like, what the fuck is wrong
so
with
you're
you?
saying old
Yeah.
people.
No, it's not. The thing is, it's not
Someone-
only old people.
It's just people who think
It's
they're
people.
entitled. Man.
It is, and it's
It's
a lot of
A
people.
lot of rogue Aussies.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm throwing my dad.
Nah,
under,
I love an
yeah.
Aussie battler. Lord, I
Yes.
love an Aussie battler.
Some of them are.
So throwing my dad under the bus a
Full
bit
on.
here, and this is
But
a lot of older people as well.
I'm a young male, so they aren't too bad to me, which sounds bad, but
I
they're,
can have
they're
res-
rude to
I
women.
can have respect
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
anyone. I
Well,
don't need, you know what I mean?
So I
That's
get
what I
treated
was
okay
going to
by
say
them.
again,
Yeah.
throwing my dad under the bus, but I've seen this with plenty of other people as well. Going through like a drive-through at Macca's, and the person sometimes they sound like they want to end it all through that
Oh,
bloody
yeah.
window,
Understandable.
but sometimes they're just really nice, and the attitude my dad gave this young girl once, and I pulled him up in the car. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I never swear with him. It's never been a thing. He's bull crap is a swear word for him.
Yeah.
I said, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Pull your head in. She's just doing her job." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "You're being so rude out of the no reason. You were fine before. You pulled up and you said this." But it's like that all the time. There's so many people that are just flat out rude. I don't know if it's
a lot of Aussies are rude, but
not like
Yeah.
that. It
Old-
was like
older
tone.
Aussies,
It's not like, oh, whatever. It was just straight
my
up dismissive.
granddad, my Aussie side, he was a and a lot of older blokes are just arseholes.
Yeah.
And that's just yep.
I love
That's-
calling them out though and making them apologize to me. That's the best. That's the best.
I don't need that apology.
Why,
Okay.
why,
Oh,
why
no,
did
no.
they change
Okay.
this thing?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's been like that for 20
That-
years, mate.
We're gonna move on.
Oh, well, I can't keep up to date. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but don't be dumb and old and
Okay, this is for your work chat.
If you're interested in being on the podcast and you think you're exciting, pitch it to me or Saz. I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, sweet. Like if you got if we
Yeah.
got mates that we haven't spoke to anything
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
If you're
Of course.
interested, let us know.
So we'll wrap this up. So this is our second official one that's going to be going out. Please share the video, like it, interact with it. Everything helps. This will be out on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everywhere, wherever you want to listen to it. And yeah, thanks guys.
So it's at Plan B podcast on
The Plan B podcast.
It's going to be everywhere, but yes, at Plan B.
I'll
podcast.
chuck them all up on the screen.
It'll
Look
be
at the
everywhere.
Instagram.
You
That'll
cannot get on
obviously
one of
have
our
links.
you can't get
Yeah.
on one of our socials without seeing where to go and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly
So,
right. Yeah. And
They know who they're listening to.
leave some comments, DM us on Instagram for things you liked, didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topics
Yeah,
you like.
definitely
Yeah,
like.
anything.
Yeah, even
If you thought something was crap, let us know. If
yeah.
you liked something, we'll run with
If
it.
you don't like these serious
Specifics.
conversations, because this was quite serious, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially the brain rot, yeah.
yeah,
about
well,
that.
we're gonna have some episodes where it's like total bullshit and fun, and there's also gonna be ones where like something's happening. Let's hear what everyone's got to say about it. We don't know how it's gonna go. We don't know where it's gonna go, but it happens. But yeah, let us know, whoever the hell you are, like what you want us to either react to or talk about, or just what you like seeing, because we don't know what direction we're gonna go, ever. So we're just playing it by ear at the moment. Just whatever comes up, comes up. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
All right,
Sweet.
thanks,
Happy days.
guys.
All right.
Cheers.
See
See
yous.
yous.